I, like you, love horror films. And when it comes to horror films that have stood the test of time, that have resisted corporate finagling, there's so many that we could talk about. There's so many beloved characters and horror franchises. Jason from Friday the 13th, the Friday the 13th series. Okay. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Michael Myers, Halloween, right? We just saw Halloween Ends. Maybe it should have ended sooner. That's a whole other debate.
That's funny.
But everything from Poltergeist to Chucky to there are so many out there that I love. I love all these, and especially around this time of year, I love to revisit some of my favorite horror franchises and maybe how they've been ruined. But one has stood the test of time, and I wrote about it. I wrote about it in a book. The book is called My Favorite Horror Movie. I'm in volume 3. And in My Favorite Horror Movie, which is a book, it's edited and curated by Christian Ackerman, Felissa Rose, and Chuck Foster. Chuck Foster, writer for Film Threat, and Christian I've known for years. So he put together a series of books, and in it are chapters by fans, by horror filmmakers, just a variety of people. I wrote in this about Night of the Living Dead and the Living Dead franchise. Now, why is Night of the Living Dead my choice for greatest? Why are the Of the Dead or zombie movie franchise, whatever you want to call it, the Romero verse, whatever you want to say about it? I love zombie movies. And when I'm saying franchise, I'm also saying I include Return of the Living Dead. I'm including Walking Dead. I'm saying, like, as an entity, zombie movies, starting with George Romero in 1968's original black and white in the public domain, Night of the Living Dead movie, one of my all-time favorite horror films of all time. And I believe that zombie movies, the best franchise. Why? Well, one, it's been around more than 50 years now. More than 50 years. Zombie films have been with us, have changed and evolved, and zombie films can be anything like Return of the Living Dead is sort of partially a comedy, right? Or it can be a drama series for television, like Walking Dead, like The Walking Dead on AMC, or in the Romero verse. All of the George Romero zombie movies had some social commentary, not in a like hit the nail on the head like lecture-y way, but just a little comment on the culture. Dawn of the Dead with consumerism, Day of the Dead, about the military industrial complex and armies of zombies being used, right? Well, the original vision for that movie would have been amazing. I'd love to see somebody attempt that. But zombie movies, to me, I love them. So that is what I'm debating and arguing for. Now, why are zombie movies so terrifying to me? When I discovered this film as a kid, I had to sleep with, I was a kid, like, I think it was like 7, 8 years old. First saw Night of the Living Dead, had to sleep with the light on. I was terrified. Later, when I bought a Super 8 projector, I was able to save money from my newspaper route to buy a feature-length print on Super 8 sound of Night of the Living Dead that I would show on a sheet hung up on the side of my garage to all the neighborhood kids. We'd get popcorn, sit around, we'd play the movie. It was in 2 reels. Little did I know that the uncut version of the feature-length Night of the Living Dead by George Romero includes full frontal nudity. Okay. I'm not complaining. I'm saying it happened. Okay. In the background, and you see, what I'm talking about. They're naked. Corpses can be naked coming out of a mortuary or whatever. In any case, why this resonates to me and why zombie films have just always gotten me. And whenever I see there's a new zombie film or a new take on a zombie movie, I have to see it, because I love the fact that this thing is not only sustained, it's a legacy that people have added to. So George Romero innovated. They're not even called zombies in the first Night of the Living Dead. They're called ghouls. Okay. The word zombie came later. But what's interesting about it is he created the rules. Zombies are after human flesh, living human flesh. If you get bit by a zombie, you turn into a zombie. And not only that, the only way to kill a zombie is to shoot him in the head. 3 rules. That's all you got for a zombie movie. Now, those rules have evolved. In the James Gunn, Zack Snyder version of Dawn of the Dead, they're running zombies. So we've seen running zombies. That's fine. You know, if you, well, there's the World War Z movie, the zombie movie with Brad Pitt. I'm not going to really advocate or argue for that one, but the book is great. Get the audiobook. It explains, Max Brooks' book explains the science behind zombies, which what you got to do, drive to Canada. Because in the winter they freeze. And after a while, they don't last long. That is a great book. It's the oral history of the zombie war from a virus, which started in China, of all places. And it is a brilliant book series. There's World War Z, and then there's the Zombie Survival Guide, also written by Max Brooks. Not really a series, but strongly recommend both. The movie, not so much. But what I'm advocating and arguing for are zombie movies as a franchise, as a whole, as a almost subgenre within horror, is the greatest. And every Halloween I watched Night of the Living Dead, the 1968 black and white version, and it was way ahead of its time. The character of Ben, played by Dwayne Jones, who was a black actor who was brought in, auditioned, who happened to be the best actor. And everybody asked George Romero, so you're going to rewrite the script because, you know, the actor's black? He's just like, no, I'm just going to, you know, make the movie as is. This guy, Dwayne Jones, is a great actor. And he's fantastic in that role. I do think it adds something of a subtext, perhaps unintentionally, who knows, but it adds much deeper layers to the film, but without any sort of lecturing, not on the nose, kind of like social messaging, and there you go. So, but the reason to me that zombie films as an ongoing franchise that has lived through more than 5 decades, that has gone through many different types of filmmakers giving their incarnations and versions of zombies, how it even, you know, has transformed into other types of genres, comedy, musical, you know, drama. They're all types of, even romance, by the way. There are zombie movie romances. I think the thing that really has always gotten me about zombie films is the fact that we are the monster. Humans are the monsters in zombie films. While the zombies themselves are the catalyst for humans trying to survive, and it's a test of moral character. And humans can, you know, in through the course of the story, actually become the physical monster itself, whether through a bite or an injury or death or whatnot. So the fact that the protagonists, the heroes in any zombie story, are fighting the so-called enemy, the zombies themselves, could also become the zombies, adds a whole other layer to it. So I am saying, as a franchise, and look, I'm making up my own rules. I know I'm doing this. I'm making up my own rules. And for our other contestants, feel free to make up your rules. But I'm just telling you, zombie movies, in particular, the George Romero-verse franchise, is the greatest monster movie franchise of all time. That's my argument.